Good evening, I'm Kamilia and this is KiniNews. Anwar's political aide has responded to Muhyiddin over his comments on Anwar. Speaking to Malaysiakini, he said Muhyiddin is suffering from an unsound mind.
Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's political aide, Kamil Abdul Munim, said unlike the Perikatan Nasional government, the current administration is not willing to ruffle the feathers of the rulers. Kamil also called former Premier Muhyiddin Yassin, who inferred that his boss could be an idiot or suffering from an unsound mind. Speaking to Malaysiakini, Kamil said the PN chairperson failed to comprehend the functions of the Pardons Board with regard to the debate over the prospect of jailed former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak being placed under house arrest. He said it is embarrassing if Muhydin does not understand the role and functions of the Pardons Board as well as the prerogative of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. He added that Muhyiddin needs to understand the constitution and not rely on prepared text. He said this in response to Muhyiddin's remarks yesterday, where he had chastised Anwar over his response to the Agong's alleged addendum order for Najib to undergo house arrest. Muhyiddin had said that it is weird and out of the ordinary when the Prime Minister says he didn't know when asked about the addendum for Najib. Meanwhile, Kamil also defended the government's stand that it would not interfere in matters related to the Agong and the Conference of Rulers. He said, "This is the difference between Muhyiddin's government and the current government which upholds and respects the royal institution." Kamil added that all decisions by the current government are made through proper procedures and according to the federal constitution.
So what exactly did Muhyiddin say about Anwar? Let's take a look at the comments he made yesterday.
Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin took a swipe at Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim yesterday. This is after the latter refused to comment on an alleged royal addendum order for Najib Abdul Razak to undergo house arrest. He said Anwar would be an idiot Prime Minister if he had no idea about the alleged supplementary order, which was said to have been issued by former Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Sultan Abdullah Sultan Ahmad Shah. When asked to comment on the matter, he said it is weird and out of the ordinary when the Prime Minister said he didn't know when asked about the addendum for Najib. He questioned how the Malaysian Prime Minister would not know such an important matter. Muhyiddin, who is also a former Prime Minister, said the government should take responsibility over the issue. He sarcastically suggested that Anwar should let Zaid replace him as the Prime Minister, as the latter seemed to know more than him. 2 days ago, Anwar, when asked by the media about the matter, dismissed criticisms against Zaid's action, saying his deputy was just acting in his capacity as UMNO president. However, Anwar refused to comment on the addendum itself, saying it came under the Pardons Board jurisdiction.
Moving on, a former PKR vice president has hit out at the party. This comes following the party's 25th anniversary over the weekend.
Former PKR vice president N Surendran has shared his feelings about PKR's 25th anniversary over the weekend. In a post on X, he described the Anwar Ibrahim-led party as morally dead. Surendran said that after promising reforms for more than 2 decades, they are only dishing out excuses after coming into power. He also questioned what there was to celebrate. Surendran, who was one of PKR's most vocal leaders in the past, said those who fought and risked jail to bring PKR to power fought for nothing. He added that PKR is a morally dead party propped up by the trappings of power, focused only on staying in power. Surendran had quit PKR in February this year after expressing disappointment with Pakatan Harapan's shameful silence on the sedition probe against former DAP lawmaker Tony Phua over his remarks about the commutation of ex-premier Najib Abdul Razak's prison sentence and fine. He announced his resignation on X after crossing swords with Harapan Communications Director Fami Fel, who told him to adhere to party discipline when airing his grievances. In his post then, Surendran had said that he asked about the reforms PKR once promised, and there was no decent answer to that. He added that there is no point in being a member of a party that no longer represents change and reform.
Meanwhile, Fahmi has slammed Muhyiddin over his remarks. Fahmi said Muhyiddin should get his son-in-law to court before talking about others.
PKR Information Chief Fami Fel said Perikatan Nasional chairperson Muhyiddin Yassin has no moral standing to make statements regarding the country's current affairs, including political issues. Fami said this was due to Muhyiddin's failure to cooperate with the authorities in urging his son-in-law, Muhammad Adlan Berhan, to return and face criminal breach of trust charges. He said Muhyiddin should not talk about Kuala Kubu Baru or by-elections and should bring back his son-in-law. Fami added that then Muhyiddin will be in a better position to talk because his son-in-law is a fugitive. He stated that as a leader, Muhyiddin should be setting a good example by urging his son-in-law to return to Malaysia and face the MACC investigation that has been initiated. He said if he fails to do so, then he believes Muhyiddin has no moral standing to talk about anything else. Fami was commenting on Muhyiddin's statement, claiming that the coalition government is on the verge of splitting up due to conflict between Pakatan Harapan and BN leaders over former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak's alleged royal addendum in his house arrest bid.
Still on Muhyiddin, earlier he had said that MCA and MIC would be better off supporting PN in the upcoming by-election. He said this is as public sentiment has turned against BN's partner Pakatan Harapan.
Perikatan Nasional chairperson Muhyiddin Yassin said BN components MCA and MIC would be better off supporting his coalition in the upcoming Kuala Kubur Baru by-election. He said this is because public sentiment has turned against Pakatan Harapan, BN's partner in the government. Muhyiddin said it's better for them to boycott, and if they don't support a Harapan candidate, it would be better for them to support Perikatan Nasional. Yesterday, MCA President Wee Ka Siong reportedly said he suggested to Harapan chairperson Anwar Ibrahim that the by-election candidate be from BN rather than DAP. Meanwhile, Muhyiddin said it is not wrong for Gerakan to express its intention to contest the seat, but he said a final decision will be made by PN Supreme Council with an expected announcement on April 25th. Asked whether PN will be fielding a Malay candidate, the former Prime Minister noted that there were suggestions from the grassroots. He said this will be discussed based on potential winnability. He also claimed there is a clear sentiment across all races when it comes to unhappiness over the government's alleged failures. Polling for the by-election will take place on May 11th, while nomination day falls on April 27th.
Tengku Zafrul has claimed that there were factual errors in Zahid's affidavit supporting Najib's attempt to have his remaining jail sentence served under house arrest. Today, he filed an affidavit to address part of Zahid's affidavit due to alleged factual inaccuracies.
Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz today has written to the Kuala Lumpur High Court seeking leave to file an affidavit linked to former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak's house arrest legal action. His legal team from the law firm Cecil Abraham and Partners sent the letter to Judge Amarjit Singh's court today. Last week, Zafrul claimed there were factual errors in Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's affidavit supporting Najib's attempt to have his remaining jail sentence served under house arrest. According to the letter today, Zafrul's lawyer said they had instructions to file the affidavit to specifically address paragraph 6 of Zahid's affidavit due to purported factual inaccuracies, which ought to be corrected. The lawyer said Zafrul further instructed them to state that he takes no position as to the merits of dispute between the parties. When reached out by Malaysiakini, a member of Najib's legal team confirmed they had been served a copy of the letter. Previously, Zahid had claimed that on January 30th, Zafrul had informed him of the addendum order dated January 29th during a meeting at his house at Country Heights. On April 4th, Najib's lead counsel Muhammad Shafi Abdullah told the media that a critical witness was set to file an affidavit to support Najib's judicial review, seeking to serve house arrest for the remainder of his 6-year jail sentence over the 42 million ringgit SRC international corruption case.
Join our Muhibah story photo and essay campaign. Share your cross-cultural friendships to celebrate Malaysia's diversity. Submit a photo with friends or family from different ethnic or religious backgrounds, along with a 100-word story to ourstory@malaysiakini.com by April 30th. Selected stories will be featured on Malaysiakini and contributors will receive a free 1-month subscription. Let's build a better Malaysia together. That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to Malaysiakini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.